Welcome back, my duelist friends. Casual Duelist here, and I'm accompanied with my boy Time Wizard. Now, Time Wizard means we're doing some Time Wizard shenanigans. And Time Wizard shenanigans, as you guys know, mean that we're going back in time to previous historic formats, and we're building decks. And today, I'm breaking some rules. One, I'm using cards with double collections. I got lazy. I got Celestial. She's insisted that my tables in the dungeon have looked way too disorganized for way too long. And she's decided that she's going to basically be reorganizing all of the card inventory. So that's fine. I appreciate her, and she will be compensated thusly. But I've also gone ahead and built a side deck for this deck because this is one that you guys always seem to ask me for. And I felt like since you guys ask me for this every format, we're just going to do it this time. So, Time Wizard to the corner, please. And let's get you guys a Crab Turtle deck profile for the Imperial format era. So, real quick, let's talk about him. Crab Turtle is the OG menace. You guys love this no effect text ritual monster because he looks absolutely like an anime JRPG video game monster. And I gotta say, I agree. 8-star menace at 2550 by 2500. And I gotta say, I enjoy it. So let's break this deck today, right? I'm pretty sure we're running 43-ish cards. I'll tell you what, give me a second, I'll count. It was, in fact, 43. So 2 of those cards going to be 2 Crab Turtles. And remember, this is old school Yu-Gi-Oh! We are going to have to actually work to get this ritual off, okay? We do not have advanced ritual art yet, so the work is real. Now, I've been saying I'm going to do this since forever, so let's build an entirely water-themed deck. We're going to get the beaters. Let's get the hitters out real quick. We're going to grab our 3 copies of 7-colored fish. We're going to get our 3 giant red sea snakes. And we're going to go full Mako Tsunami today. We're going to get 3 great whites. So 18, 18, and 16. All of these cards have one thing in common. We are all water attribute. Keep that in mind. Sock it away for later. Okay? The next thing we're going to do is I got to get my jars out. Okay, so Cyber Jar and Morphing Jar. Probably 2 of the most, I want to say, important jar cards that have ever been printed in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! One allows us to drop and get new hands. One allows us to basically net zero the field and go ahead from scratch. Now, we got a lot of hitters. We're trying to be aggressive with this deck. We want Crab Turtle to be the apex predator, which means we got to get stronger than a Blue Eyes at some point, and we will. So that's it for that. But we went ahead. I borrowed these out of my Relinquished deck just because I didn't want to look through the major collection while it's undergoing the organization. I got the 2 Senju and the 2 Sonic Birds. Again, we need the 2 Searchers. We're not running the normal like Trip Tomatoes, Double Sangan, Single Witch. We don't care so much about that because the searching can't help us with the Crab Turtle. That's great with a Relinquished deck because we can still use those cards to get the Relinquished card to our hand. And then it's more or less like just play Sonic Birds. So there's that. We're going to move into the spells, and the spells are going to get fun. So we are going to run single Change of Heart, single Confiscation, single Dark Hole, single Delinquent Duo, single Monster Reborn. These 5 basically royalty cards of the time period. 2 of them allow us to just deal with what we need to with our opponent's hand, lower the amount of options. Dark Hole allows us to get a board reset. Change of Heart will help us because we are doing the ritual. Same thing with Monster Reborn. There's going to be times where we're going to hit the Morphing Jar. We're going to topple our opponent's cards enough to where reborning a single monster card is going to give us all the stars we need for the ritual. So just keep that in mind. Trip MST. I like the spot destruction here, overrunning the heavy storms. And again, I just think once you see what else we're playing, you kind of understand where I went with this. So spot destruction, better than just widespread. 2 crossouts, because again, flip effects can hurt us. Granted, we're using some. We're not using a ton, though. So I don't feel bad about running both crossouts this time. Back to Yugi royalty cards. We got the Pot of Greed. We got the Raigeki. We've got the Snatch Steal. And we've got the Forceful Sentry. Again, essentially the Power 9 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Spells are going to be in this deck. And that's just because, like, that's the time period, kids. We do need 2 copies of the Turtle Oath. Because, again, we don't have any type of, like, ritual substitutions yet. So we just need these. And, again, it's sort of like I'm playing 4 of these and 4 of the ritual because we have the tutors in here as well. Last spell we're going to play, and this is why I told you, memorize the water attribute. We're running Umirukas. Forget baseline Umi, okay? Umi's okay. It is going to give you a little bit of a disruption on Pyros and Machines. So I guess Jinzo would go down to, what, 2,200? Mechanical Chaser down to 1,650. Okay, that's great. Let's talk about how even our Great White pops up as a 2,100. Let's talk about how our snakes and our 7-colored fish jump to 23. Let's talk about Crab Turtle hitting just over 3,000 with Umiruka. I think it's personally a little bit better. You could make the argument that it's not. That's fine. Again, I just think this allows us to go aggressive and fast. Also, water tech wasn't really a thing yet, so you don't see cards like Tribe Infecting Virus randomly getting a buff because your opponent could play it and then discard a card or two to wipe your field. That wasn't a big deal yet. So again, Umiruka for kind of the win, guys. Going to traps, a little more resurrection. We're going to play that one called the Haunted. We're going to tech in the one Ceasefire. Again, we're basically doing this to eliminate the opponent being defensive, getting their flip effects. We want to disrupt their strategy as much as possible. Here's what it is. We got to get the one Mirror Force, because if you're not playing Mirror Force, what are you doing? 2 copies of Solemn Judgment. I want to remind you guys, Solemn Judgment being a spell speed 3 counter trap card means that it is a trap that can respond to the summon of Jinzo and actually do its job. Okay? So just run that back one more time. Solemn Judgment can stop the summon of a monster because it's countering the summon of a monster. It is a spell speed 3 effect. And that is why we're going to not fear the Jinzo as much as you guys might want me to. And that said, double Trap Hole. Okay, I don't go anywhere in these older formats usually without Trap Hole. I just find that it's a great tech card. You had it was regular rare in Legend of Blue Eyes. We've got the first 2 starter decks, Yugi and Kaiba. So there's like free copies. There's common copies everywhere in this time period. It's easy to get a hold of. It's easy to play. It's 1,000 points or more on a normal summon. So if you're still worried about that Mechanical Chaser, play the Trap Hole. But again, back to the Jinzo, spell speed 2. This means Jinzo's already touched the field. It's not countering it, it's responding to it. So this, Trap Hole, no bueno. Solemn Judgment, super bueno. Okay? This is the 43 card main deck. This is Crab Turtle in Imperial format. Go ahead, do me a favor real quick. Pause, take notes, or pause, screenshot this, and I'll be back with that mystical, magical side deck that I normally don't have for you. So just uno momento, por favor. All right, so what's in my side? I'll show you. Got the 15 cards, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, 15 cards. And just real quick, I got a Cannon Soldier. Why? Cannon Soldier damage can still end the game. And even as a one-of, without running the Tomatoes, without running the Sangan, without running the Witch, this is still an amazing option for the time period, even as a one-of. I do keep an extra Crab Turtle. Because, reasons. I do keep a Jinzo in here. Because, again, reasons. I do double up on Magician of Faith on the side. Magician of Faith is great. It's going to allow us to recycle. But having it here means games 2 and 3, we can do more with our big spells and stuff. We can get a little more aggressive with what we have to. It allows us to shift playstyle slightly. We're also going to add a couple copies of Fisher, because again, Fisher's just a great spell. If you do need a board clear, Giant Trunades, okay? At this point, they were not limited, okay? They were around, but they were not limited. And what they do is they just return all spell traps back to the owner's hands. So we run a field spell. We do not want to destroy the field spell, because what if we didn't have another copy in our hand yet? Giant Trunade allows us to do that, reset all of our traps without really losing a board position. All it does is bounce the stuff so we can get our plays off. That's why we run it. We do run the Premature Burial in the side, because again, sometimes you need that little bit of extra resurrection. I do run Pair of Rush Recklessly in my side at this point in time. Again, what this does is the Jinzo, the Mechanical Chaser. Maybe I didn't have the field spell, but I've got a 700 point boost. And that's a little more than the 500 points from the field spell. This means that even my 1800s will get to 2500. They're attacking like a Dark Magician. They're going to be able to rebound on the Jinzo real fast. So again, just real good stuff. That single copy of Swords, that third copy of the Turtle Oath, because obviously, why would you just double up or triple up on the Crab Turtle but not his Ritual? And then the last card is the format title or card, the Imperial Order. Again, we do play a ton of spells, and it was still optional at the time period. Pay or destroy. So, yeah. I like it better in the side. We do rely on our spells a bit much. So there's just that. This is my full-on Crab Turtle Imperial Order, Imperial format deck profile. This is the final Imperial format deck profile. I will be moving on to the next format in the next week or two. So do keep that in mind. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this. I hope you guys have enjoyed Imperial format. A quick sidebar, if Konami does come back with they are going to make cards go backwards with their errata, we will change these videos that have already been uploaded. We will call them Legacy Time Wizard, and then we will start back at the beginning and redo a lot of the decks, because a lot of the decks would have to function differently, because cards like Sangan would function differently. You can only use it once, which affects every Exodia deck in history. So there's that. Dual Doggo's going nuts. Somebody's probably at the door. I'm just going to go ahead and bid you all farewell. I hope that you've enjoyed the day. Like, comment, sub if we've earned it. Don't if we haven't. Be good to yourselves. Be good to others. And I hope to see you guys on the next video. Later.